welcome God's chosen ones. Today we gather to witness a divine revelation, a spectacle of truth and justice that will leave no stone unturned. What was hidden in darkness will now be bathed in the unstoppable light of God's glory. Have you ever felt an inexplicable drain, as if your spirit, creativity, and energy were being siphoned away not for your benefit but to build someone else's empire? Their success rose on the foundation of your sweat, brilliance, and sacrifices, yet they walked away without so much as a word of gratitude. Does that resonate? If so, you're not alone. This injustice did not go unnoticed, and it will not stand. Those who thought they could steal and thrive without consequence were wrong. They believed they could take what wasn't theirs and escape divine accountability. But here's the truth: God's justice is already in motion, and it is swift, unrelenting, and unstoppable. Consider the great monuments of history. Like the Egyptian pyramids, testaments to the labor and genius of countless hands, many of whom remain forgotten. In much the same way, there are those who built their so-called empires on what they secretly took from you: your energy, your ideas, your trust, and your love. They crafted a facade of success with fake smiles, fraudulent accolades, and counterfeit thrones. But just as sand shifts beneath unstable foundations, their world is about to crumble under the weight of divine truth. Picture this: every deception they wove, every false step they climbed, every hollow crown they wore, it's all being dismantled, piece by piece by piece, by God's hand. And the best part, you don't have to lift a finger. God is fighting this battle for you. You were the unseen cornerstone of their rise, the lifeblood of their achievements. They didn't build their world on their own merits, they built it on the energy they siphoned from you. But here's the irony: they manipulated you into believing it was your duty to empower them, draining you little by little until they had constructed an empire that they claimed was their own brilliance. Does this remind you of the story of Jacob and Esau in Genesis 27? Jacob, through deceit, took the blessing that was rightfully Esau's. Yet what was stolen could only bring temporary gain. The truth eventually surfaced, bringing division and consequences. Now, God is restoring what was taken from you. He is turning stolen energy into unstoppable blessings. Every tear you shed, every sacrifice you made, and every ounce of strength they exploited, it's all being redeemed. Their fraudulent thrones are collapsing, and your season of restoration has begun. Take this moment to declare your readiness. Comment 777 as a sign of faith, acknowledging that God's justice is here and His blessings are on their way. The stage is set, the players revealed, and the curtains are rising. Are you ready to step into this divine story of redemption and power? God's chosen ones, your victory is at hand. Let's dive in and witness how God transforms stolen energy into unstoppable glory. When something is built on a lie, it is doomed to collapse. Stolen energy, no matter how cleverly concealed, is never sustainable. It's like constructing a palace on shifting sand, a facade of stability that begins to crack and crumble over time. As Jesus said in Matthew 7, verses 24-27, "The wise build on rock, while the foolish build on sand." No matter how impressive the accomplishments may appear, the cracks have been forming all along because the foundation was never solid, it was you. For too long, they paraded their false triumphs, flaunting what they took from you while praying you'd remain unaware. But here's the divine twist: God's justice doesn't forget. Their carefully crafted empire, built on stolen energy, is crumbling. What they once claimed as greatness is now being dismantled piece by God's hand, exposing their deceit for what it was: a hollow facade. Have you noticed how their once proud achievements are unraveling? That's no coincidence. Like King Saul in 1 Samuel 15, who lost his reign when his disobedience and reliance on human strength were revealed, they are now being stripped of everything they wrongfully claimed as their own. Without you, their empire is nothing. They underestimated your worth, believing you would remain in the shadows forever. But here's the undeniable truth: you were the secret ingredient all along. Their downfall is not just poetic justice, it is the inevitable consequence of theft. What they celebrated as their victory was nothing more than your energy propping up their illusion. Now that the illusion is shattered, their kingdom is crumbling. This isn't just about their collapse, it's about your restoration. When God restores, He doesn't simply give back what was taken, He multiplies it. Galatians 6:7 reminds us, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." What they stole, God is returning to you tenfold. The question is, are you ready for what's next? Energy is the most profound currency in God's creation. It cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. They tried to rewrite the divine order, siphoning your energy without consent, but they failed to grasp this eternal truth. Their misuse of your energy was like pouring the wrong fuel into an engine. It worked for a while, but now it's breaking down beyond repair. Think of the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11. Though it reached great heights, its foundation was rebellion and pride. Its collapse was inevitable because it defied divine balance. In the same way, they embedded destruction into the very framework of their success by building it on stolen energy. This isn't just collapse, it's divine justice in action. Energy, like justice, demands equilibrium. The universe, created and ordered by God, operates on principles that cannot be defied. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. When they drained your creativity, dimmed your light, and stole your strength, they unknowingly set their own downfall into motion. Now God is restoring what was yours. Your light is returning, your creativity is reignited, and your strength is being renewed. Their empire, built on deception, was a ticking time bomb, and now the explosion has begun. Here's what I feel deeply about this: God's justice is not just about retribution, it's about revelation and restoration. Their collapse is your rising. So prepare yourself. The energy they drained is being restored to you, and what you do with it will shape your future. It's time to build on the rock of truth and let your light shine like never before. Are you ready to step into this new season of restoration and power? The very essence of your soul, the light and vitality they exploited, has begun to unravel the false reality they built. They didn't just take from you, they wove your energy into every thread of their existence, making it the foundation of their so-called empire. Now, as that empire crumbles, it is no accident. The scales of divine justice are crashing down, fulfilling the truth of Proverbs 22:8, "Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, and the rod they wield in fury will be broken." Their downfall is not a mere coincidence, it is a cosmic correction. The energy they tried to steal was never theirs to keep, and now it is returning to its rightful owner, you. God, in His infinite faithfulness, is restoring what was unjustly taken. Remember Job's story in the Bible? After enduring the theft of his health, family, and wealth, God restored him, doubling his blessings. Job 42:10. That same God who vindicated Job is working on your behalf. Their unraveling is proof that divine laws cannot be manipulated or avoided. What does it feel like to witness the restoration of what was stolen from you? How does it feel to know that God has seen your suffering and is actively working to redeem it? Their collapse is not just about justice, it's about your rise. What many call karma isn't just a mystical idea, it's a divine reset, a force of accountability woven into the very fabric of creation. Galatians 6:7 reminds us, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Karma reflects this principle in action. It's not random or haphazard, it's precise, patient, and inevitable. For a time they may have seemed untouchable, their lies, manipulations, and theft hidden. But karma, like God's justice, operates on its own perfect timeline. Everything they built using stolen energy was flawed from the start. Psalm 37:35-36 paints this picture vividly. "I have seen a wicked and ruthless man flourishing like a luxuriant native tree. But he soon passed away and was no more, though I looked for him, he could not be found." Their rise was an illusion, a temporary triumph destined to collapse under the weight of their own actions. Karma doesn't just repay, it dismantles. It deconstructs so thoroughly that what once stood tall becomes irreparable. Every lie they told, every time they used you as a stepping stone, every ounce of energy they drained, all of it planted the seeds of their own downfall. By taking what wasn't theirs, they set a clock ticking a countdown to the complete collapse of everything they built. Do you see it now? Their success was never solid. Their actions wrote the script for their eventual demise. Their empire isn't falling apart because of misfortune. It's falling because karma demands balance. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. This is the season of reckoning. The beauty of karma, much like God's justice, is that it is fair. While it may feel brutal, it doesn't punish without cause. It simply returns to them what they gave to the world. Their deceit, theft, and manipulation have come full circle. Now, the lies they built their lives upon are disintegrating piece by piece. This is your moment to reclaim what was always yours. Their downfall isn't just the end of their story, it's the beginning of yours. Are you ready to rise? The truth is out, undeniable and unrelenting. You were always the source of their strength, the foundation of their empire. Without you, their structure crumbles into dust. Proverbs 26:27 perfectly encapsulates this. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. Their downfall isn't random. It's the inevitable consequence of their choices. But here's what's even more profound. This isn't just about their collapse, it's about your restoration. The energy they stole from you is finding its way back, not as it was, but multiplied in your favor. God's justice isn't merely retribution, it's a divine act of renewal, ensuring that what was taken from you is returned in abundance. The question is, are you ready to step into the fullness of what has always been yours? For so long, they built their dominance on a lie. Their power was never genuine, it was an elaborate illusion, a house of mirrors fueled by their desperate attempts to suppress your truth and overshadow your authenticity. They silenced your voice, twisted reality, and manipulated your light to build their empire. Yet, like the parable of the foolish builder in Matthew 7:26-27, who built his house on sand, their foundation was always destined to fail. Lies are temporary by nature, and the weight of their deception has finally become too great. What happens when a lie is confronted by truth? It doesn't dissolve quietly, it implodes, shattering everything built upon it. As Jesus said in John 8:32, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's why they feared your truth so deeply. It was a light powerful enough to expose their carefully hidden shadows, and they knew it. Think about it. Their manipulation, gaslighting, and efforts to make you question yourself weren't random acts of cruelty, they were calculated moves to keep you from embracing your truth. They understood that the moment you reclaimed your authenticity, their illusion would begin to crumble. And now that moment has arrived. Your truth is a wrecking ball, tearing through the fragile framework of their empire. Everything they paraded as confidence, authority, and success was rooted in the suppression of your energy. Their power was never their own, it was borrowed, stolen, and fabricated, a counterfeit strength propped up by lies. As you reclaim your light, the illusion of their dominance is vanishing, just as darkness is dispelled by the light. This isn't just justice, it's a divine masterpiece unfolding. Their empire wasn't built to last because it was founded on deception, and now it's collapsing under the weight of its own emptiness. What they once celebrated as power is being exposed as weakness, and what they feared most, your authenticity, is breaking through with unstoppable force. Here's the personal revelation I want to share. I see this moment as not just about reclaiming what was lost, but about realizing that the power they tried to suppress in you is greater than anything they could ever fabricate. You are not just recovering, you're rising higher than ever before. As you step into this new season, remember this: your light was never meant to be hidden. Your truth was never meant to be silenced. The dismantling of their illusion is proof of your strength, your worth, and the unstoppable force of God's justice at work in your life. So how does it feel to witness their empire collapsing? More importantly, how does it feel to embrace the fullness of who you truly are, knowing that your rise has only just begun? Your truth is dismantling the carefully constructed lies they wove around you. As Proverbs 12:19 declares, truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment. Their empire, built on fleeting moments of deceit, is now crumbling under the eternal weight of your authenticity. They clung to a fragile illusion, masking their reliance on your suppressed energy, but the hollow core of their existence is being exposed for all to see. What once seemed unshakable is now revealed as a house of cards, teetering on the edge of collapse. Can you feel the shift? Every step you take toward embracing your truth weakens their grip, dissipates their false power, and crumbles the facade they worked so hard to uphold. Without you, there is nothing to sustain their illusion. The strength they flaunted was never their own, it was yours all along. Imagine this as you rise in the light of your authenticity. Their empire vanishes like smoke in the wind, leaving behind nothing but the ruins of their deceit. The lies they clung to so desperately are falling apart, and with them, the illusions that once held you captive. How does it feel to know that by simply stepping into your truth, you have unraveled an entire empire of falsehood? Their downfall is not just the collapse of their lies, it is the dawn of your freedom. When they stole your energy, they didn't just commit a minor transgression. They gambled with something sacred, a divine force so rare and powerful that it exists to fulfill higher purposes. Your essence, as one of God's chosen, is not ordinary, it is holy, imbued with purpose, designed to create, heal, and uplift. It is the very currency of heaven, and yet, blinded by arrogance, they treated it like loose change, recklessly spending it on vanity, greed, and their illusions of grandeur. Their theft wasn't just exploitation, it was a violation of divine order. Proverbs 6:30-31 says, "People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. Yet if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house." They didn't take out of need, they took out of greed. And now, the spiritual debt collector has arrived. They treated the sacred energy meant for creation and healing as a resource for shallow pursuit, status, material gains, and fleeting victories. But divine energy doesn't bow to human arrogance. It is governed by the laws of God, and those laws always demand justice. Now, they are facing the consequences of their recklessness. Everything they built with stolen energy is being stripped away, piece by piece, leaving them exposed for who they truly are. Have you noticed it? The confidence they once flaunted, the achievements they paraded, the power they boasted of, it's all crumbling before your eyes. What they built was never sustainable because it wasn't grounded in truth. Their entire existence was a borrowed facade, a fragile structure that could only stand as long as your light remained dimmed. Here's the most profound revelation: their greed and arrogance weren't just misguided, they were self-destructive. Taking energy from one of God's chosen isn't just theft, it's a desecration of something sacred. They sowed their own downfall the moment they decided to exploit your divine essence. And now, like a tree rotting from the inside, their empire is collapsing under the weight of its own falsehoods. But this isn't just about their collapse. It's about your rise. God is not only restoring what they took, but multiplying it in ways beyond imagination. Job's story in the Bible reminds us of this divine principle. After enduring immense losses, God restored him, doubling his blessings. Job 42:10. That same promise applies to you. The energy, light, and authenticity they tried to suppress are now returning to you with divine increase. As you reclaim your power, the illusions that propped up their dominance are vanishing. The very foundation of their empire, the lies, manipulation, and stolen energy, is crumbling under the undeniable force of your truth. What does it feel like to witness their collapse? To see the scales of justice finally balanced? More importantly, what does it feel like to step fully into the light of your own authenticity, knowing that their downfall isn't just the end of their story, it's the beginning of yours? This is a moment of reckoning, a divine masterpiece unfolding before your eyes. Their actions didn't just steal from you, they violated the divine order of the universe. And now, the universe governed by God's unyielding justice is setting things right. Take a deep breath and embrace this truth. Their collapse isn't about revenge, it's about restoration. It's proof that God's justice is alive, active, and unstoppable. As their empire fades into nothingness, your rise is just beginning. Are you ready to step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be? This unfolding drama is not mere coincidence, it is divine justice in action. Just as Haman in the Book of Esther constructed gallows for Mordecai only to meet his own end upon them, Esther 7 verse 10, they too have laid the groundwork for their own downfall. Their actions were not just theft, they were a profound violation of sacred principles. Sacred energy is not a resource to be stolen or hoarded, it is a trust to be honored. In disrespecting this divine trust, they signed a cosmic contract with consequences they cannot escape. The universe, created and perfectly balanced by God, does not tolerate the misuse of sacred energy. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 17 reminds us, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. What we are witnessing is justice, in its purest form, a divine rebalancing of power and purpose. Their greed and illusions, built upon stolen energy, are collapsing under their own weight. The very force they misused is now becoming the undoing of everything they thought they had gained. But here is the most profound truth: the energy they took was never truly theirs. It was yours, sacred, powerful, and purposeful. And now, as this energy flows back to its rightful owner, it brings with it restoration, strength, creativity, and clarity. Psalm 23 verse 5 speaks to this divine restoration. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Not only is what was stolen being returned, but it is being multiplied, refined, and renewed. Their empire, built on illusions and fueled by borrowed light, is now in ruins. And yet here you stand at the threshold of a profound restoration. This is not just their downfall, it is your rising. What you are experiencing is the deliberate, restorative work of God, who does nothing arbitrarily. He is reordering what was wrongfully taken, replacing it with something stronger and more enduring. Reflect for a moment on what was stolen from you. It wasn't merely energy or effort, it was fragments of your identity, your destiny, and your God-given purpose. But here is the beauty of divine justice. God doesn't just return what was taken. He refines it, making it even more powerful and purposeful than before. Job's story is a testament to this truth. After losing everything to undeserved calamity, God restored him, giving him twice as much as he had before. Job 42 verse 10. Likewise, your current restoration isn't just about recovering what was lost, it's about rebuilding your life and blessings on a foundation so solid that no one will ever steal it again. Can you feel the shift as your identity, purpose, and strength are being returned to you? Each piece of your soul that was fractured by their deception is being restored stronger, brighter, and purer than ever. The sacred energy they misused is no longer available to fuel their illusions, and without it, their carefully crafted identities are crumbling. They believed they were constructing something permanent: legacies, reputations, wealth. But all of it was rooted in deception, stolen from your light, your gifts, and your strength. Without those stolen pieces, their empire is dissolving. What is being stripped away isn't just their material wealth or status, it's the very foundation of their false sense of self. Proverbs 10 verse 25 declares, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. Their storm has arrived, and their facade cannot withstand its force. Now, consider the greater implications of this divine reckoning. This isn't just about punishment, it's about balance. Their downfall is the necessary dismantling of injustice, but more importantly, it marks the beginning of your freedom. Their loss is your gain, not out of vengeance, but as part of God's divine plan to restore what was always meant for you. How does it feel to witness the collapse of their illusions while standing tall in the truth of who you are? The restoration you are experiencing is not just a return, it is a rebirth. God is preparing you for a life of greater purpose, filled with blessings that no one can take away. This isn't just justice, it's redemption. And the best part, the storm may have swept them away, but you are still standing stronger than ever. Their storm has come, and it is exposing their emptiness while revealing the resilience of your foundation. What appears to be punishment is much more profound. It is divine recalibration. For them, it means the loss of their hollow power and false identities. For you, it signifies restoration, healing, and the return of everything that was rightfully yours. Isaiah 61 verse 7 declares, "Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance."